must die this time. No words to sing, no prayer, no verse and no rhyme. Nowhere to turn that I haven't left behind. I wanna be alone, a place no one can find. Everywhere I look I see shadows stare back at me. I know I'm never gonna be the same. Never gonna be the same. Nowhere to pin the battles that I won. Nowhere to heal, repent the sins that I've done. Nowhere to send the ghost that lives in my mind. Nowhere to search clues that I can't find. Everywhere I look I see shadows stare back at me. And I know I'm never gonna be the same. Never gonna be the same. Deep behind a restless mind, I paid the price. Nothing's free. The path ahead with memory flare. Eyes are open, but I can't see. Way out of time, I can't believe a trace. Don't recognize my own eyes on my face. Nowhere to turn, I can't breathe in this place. Nowhere to run, I can't lose this race. Everywhere I see shadows stare back at me. And I know never gonna be the same. Never gonna be the same. Everywhere I see shadows stare back at me. And I know I'm never gonna be the same. Never gonna be the same.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early rise, what so proudly we hail, and the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the red marks we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket transplants, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land under the brave, and the home of the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in name, the name of the brave. We are the U.S. of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save, this land of the brave, the U.S. of A. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the brave, and the
They teach you a lot in the service. They teach you how to stand straight and fire your rifle. They teach you respect, survival. They teach you how to take a life and how to give your own. What they don't teach you is what happens when you come home. There are over 2 million people in the U.S. Armed Forces. For some, coming home is the hardest part. As a veteran, you are not alone. Reach out, call a battle buddy, and take the Spartan Pledge. For more information, visit us on the web at descendantsofsparta.com.
The trail of the 3rd Army and the 19th Tactical Air Command of the 8th Air Force is marked by more than 40,000 white crosses, 40,000 dead Americans.
We were young and soldiers called to dedicate our lives in the name of God and country. Do what's just, boys. Go do what's right. A hot band of brothers waiting on our chance to add one more page unto the victory dance. Here am I, Lord, send me. Victory lies in the spirit of the lives of the men who died for me.
Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send? And who will go for us?" And I said, "Here am I. Send me."
Oh, send me.
This is Michael Broderick, Marine Corps veteran, actor, and Gallant Few board member. You are listening to the New American Veteran on Vets on Media. Now here's Carl Monger.
Thank you, Michael Broderick, and good afternoon. Today is December 9th, 2014. Welcome to Gallant Few's The New American Veteran. New American Veteran is broadcast of Gallant Few, Inc., a 501c3 nonprofit. Our mission is to prevent veteran isolation by connecting new veterans with hometown veteran mentors, thereby facilitating a peaceful, successful transition from military service to a civilian life filled with purpose and hope. Our goal is to connect every new veteran with a hometown veteran mentor, and we do this by creating and supporting a nationwide network of successfully transitioned veterans that engage locally with new veterans with the same military background now going through their own transition. And we believe this will prevent veteran unemployment, homelessness, and suicide. That's a mouthful to say, but bottom line is a veteran that's already out, that's living right in your neighborhood, is ideally positioned to mentor that veteran that is just returning home from active duty. Same branch of the service, same experiences, maybe same deployments, maybe even same injuries if that's possible. And then on top of that, same professional interest, maybe accounting, or maybe it's owning a business, or maybe it's being an attorney, or maybe it's singing in a rock band. But you have somebody that you can identify with, you can look up with, that you respect, which is a huge part of it, and then you can trust. And the rest, everything else just comes through there naturally. A couple of quick announcements here before I bring my guest on. I thank him for hanging on there. I see him standing by in the, I'd call it the green room, but yeah, I have to come up with a better name for that. This last weekend was the 73rd anniversary of Pearl Harbor. And for anybody that's ever been out to Hawaii, I hope that you got a chance to go out and see the Missouri and see Punch Bowl and see some of the artifacts and the remains left over from that battle. Because when you think about the greatest generation, their 9/11 was Pearl Harbor. And that surprise attack by the Japanese changed the course of history, certainly changed the place of the United States in the world. And it ignited a group of men and women that ultimately became the core of veterans in this country that have been the backbone of where we've been the last 30, 40 years. And that, I saw some census data Boone Cutler passed out here a couple of days ago, that as that greatest generation is dying off, that massive community, entire country engagement in the warfighting effort, it's very apparent that times have changed, because as that population of veterans dies off, you see the population density of veterans shrink smaller and smaller and smaller. Since World War II, the population density has been about 10 or 11% by population. 1 out of every 10 Americans is a veteran, but that's getting smaller and smaller. And right now, less than 1 out of every 100 people in the United States is an OIF, OEF, post 9/11 veteran. And you will see that veteran population continue to shrink. Even though there's still 1 million veterans that are leaving active duty, that population, compared to the entire United States population, is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And what that means for those veterans that are leaving active duty is the potential for them to be isolated, to not have somebody local they can talk to about their service experience, or who they trust enough to talk about things that might be on their heart or on their mind. That's much harder to find. That's why it makes, well, we do, what Gallant Few does and what many other veteran networks do, so very important to keep them connected and to not let them stray off that path when they go through their transition. I just saw an article this morning, came out
on the Gallup Pew paper. We have a electronic newspaper that farms articles of veteran interest. And article today said that suicide is now the leading cause of military deaths. War is number 2. Now, this data was from 2010 to 2012, so the data is 2 years old, and it's saying that 2 years ago there were more soldiers dying from suicide than were being killed in combat. There were a lot more casualties 2 years ago than there are now. So that tells you the problem right now is even greater. Not that I'm saying we need to go to war to have more casualties, but what I'm saying is we need to stop the active duty suicides, and they're talking here about active duty suicides. The Washington Post goes on to say, and I'm going to quote this real quick, the suicide rate within the military is holding steady. The number of active duty suicides in 2013 dropped by roughly 19% compared to 2012, but 2014 they went back up. This year, the military had lost 161 active duty troops to suicide as of July, the most recent data available, compared with 154 during the same time period in 2013. So there's a little bit of an increase there. The numbers for the citizen soldiers of the Reserves and National Guard have been even more dire, climbing 8% from 2012 to 2013, from 203 to 220. And General Odierno told Washington Post in an interview, I don't think we've seen the top yet on suicides. I'll post a link to that in case anybody wants to look at the rest of that. An important side note to that is this week the House takes up the Clay Hunt Suicide Prevention for American Veterans Act. They'll be debating it. It probably won't get much debate because it's got bipartisan support, and it's going to fly right through. It aims to increase access to mental health care, better meet the demand for mental health care by helping attract more psychiatrists by paying their medical bills as an incentive, their medical schooling bills as an incentive, and boosting the accountability of mental health care by annual evaluations of that care. My concern here is when you put something through Congress that says veterans and mental health or assistance, they fund it, they throw dollars at it without even looking to see, is it going to resolve the underlying issues? The jury's still out on whether or not it's going to resolve those underlying issues, because in my opinion the current method of post-traumatic stress treatment by the VA is criminal incompetence, because they put veterans in an environment where they have to repeatedly talk about their stressor or their post-traumatic or their traumatic event, and each week they go in there, they get a different counselor, so they have to go through the whole thing again. They never make any progress, and typically by 2 or 3 of these sessions the veteran doesn't want to even participate in it anymore because it's too doggone painful, so they drop out. And then the veteran's got somebody that refused treatment, and then it's even harder to get access to services. That whole approach is wrong, and I could do a whole show on that, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to say rest in peace Ranger Rocky Stone, who is a well-known Vietnam veteran, C Company 75th Ranger Long Range Reconnaissance Patrol, or LRP veteran. And there's a famous picture in Vietnam of him leaning against a tree, and he's just learned that he is one of, I believe, 4 Rangers out of his platoon that survived an engagement with the enemy. And he just passed away here a couple of days ago, and his loss will be felt across our community. I want to say congratulations to Corey Smith. Tomorrow he graduates with his Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, the original Run Ranger Run, and I'm going to come back around and talk about that a little bit later because I need to get to Dave Bray. So I've got as my guest today, Dave, go ahead and unmute your microphone if you would.
Action. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Welcome to the New American Veteran.
It's kind of a bad connection, but it's good to be here, and I'm listening in. It's a great cause, and I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, we've got you loud and clear. Your face is clear on the screen, so we'll keep driving on. Thank you for your service in the Navy. I've had you on the show before, but it's been a while, and the last time we did it, it was all audio. It wasn't video, so it's nice to be able to put a face to a voice. And I want to compliment you on your service, and I especially want to compliment you on what you guys are doing with Madison Rising. This is the most patriotic rock band, I believe, that exists out there. There are a couple that might give you a little run for your money. We'll have to do a patriotic rock band competition at some point, but with your addition of the Star Spangled Banner and some other things you're doing, you guys are right on track.
Well, thanks again for having me on. I appreciate it. We're just a patriotic rock band, whether we're the most patriotic or anything. I just hope more people start singing about our country and start showing the gratitude towards our troops that we kind of came out of the gate with. Madison Rising has been basically self-funded, kind of on our own, out here sort of doing our thing. We're not a big record label. We don't have tons of backers. We're sort of a grassroots effort trying to bring the real American sort of culture back to the forefront. And we got to a point where we were just tired of hearing everybody down how our nation is being sort of portrayed in Hollywood and everywhere else in music, and we wanted to do something special, and that's what Madison Rising is.
I love your rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. I don't know if you heard or not, but every week when I do the show intro, I started off with Jim O'Farrell Band doing a rock song, and then it goes straight into you guys doing the Star Spangled Banner. You had a competition, didn't you? If you got to a certain number of YouTube views, something was going to happen, and I apologize, I don't remember what that was right off the top of my head.
We did what was called the Star Spangled Banner Challenge. It was supposed to be 10 million views, and we had a big shindig we were going to put on. Unfortunately, we didn't get there. It's just you set goals for yourself, and sometimes you succeed at them, sometimes you don't. But the idea is to keep going, learn from your mistakes, and keep pushing. And that's kind of why we started out with started writing new material, and with our Soldiers Christmas video and song, and also our Shows for Heroes initiative that we just launched this week.
Yeah, I want to learn more about. Tell me about Shows for Heroes, because
Shows for Heroes is
I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, just real quick, basically what Shows for Heroes is a way for the people of America to give back to the troops, and with the use of really cool entertainment, patriotic entertainment via Madison Rising. Each year we get asked to perform or donate performances to different organizations. Many of them are veteran or military benefits or beneficiaries, and due to the fact that logistical costs, travel, the thousands of dollars sometimes that it takes to get from A to B and back, we've had to say no. So after we got about 20 people that had asked us in the course of maybe 2 months, we said, well, how can we fill this gap instead of just instead of just saying no, we can't play your show, how can we say yes in the future? And that's where Shows for Heroes came from. It was kind of an idea. We said, okay, well, let's build a fund that when a veteran organization, a military organization comes to Madison Rising and says, hey, we'd love for you to play for our benefit, can you get to Louisiana? And we're in Pennsylvania, and we can say, yes, we can get to Louisiana, we'd love to play your benefit, we will be there. And those are the kinds of, in my opinion, it's a way for the American people, the patriotic Americans in this country, our friends, our families, to give, who have already given something, but who may wish to give a little bit more for our cause and what we do. Because I feel as though what we do is not only important, to the American people, but moreover to those veterans, like you said, who may be on the ropes of whether or not they feel like being here anymore. They might hear or listen to a song, and music can heal. It actually has the power to heal, and that when they hear a song like the Star Spangled Banner, it may change their outlook on what they've done and how they serve their country. So that's the idea behind Shows for Heroes.
Is there a website for Shows for Heroes where
it's just on the Indiegogo site. If people want to go check it out, it's under Shows for Heroes, the number 4, under Madison Rising, Shows for Heroes on Indiegogo. You can find a link to it up on the Madison Rising Facebook page. It may be a few posts back, but you can find it down in there, and you can also see our little promo video that we put together. Again, the idea is just a way for the American people who want to support Madison Rising, or want to support patriotism, or want to support their troops, and a way for them to really step up and give back. And it's a very unique way to help the men and women in uniform. I mean, we were hoping to get enough money together that we could fly to overseas areas, locations, and be able to put on a real show for some of these guys. Whereas the USO, that was basically what they would do. We wanted to do it sort of privately and with us and for them genuinely, and at a good rate and a good cause.
Are you getting some response to that? People checking in?
Yeah, we've gotten some great donations. Got some I think bronze and silver sponsors. Been a lot of little ones. We're asking to try to get $25,000. We figured if we can get $25,000, we would be able to donate probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 shows next year
Wow.
And that's a lot of people. You figure, you get maybe 200 vets to a show. You think about how many people that could inspire, and how many guys we can chin up on that. I think that's a pretty good bang for anybody's buck.
Where are you guys based out of?
We're out of northeastern United States, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey area. And yeah, we've been up here for 3.5 years. We've been working out of this area.
Is there an upcoming concert people can hear you local in that area?
Yeah, we're heading up to the Bradford VFW at Bradford, Pennsylvania. It's actually Madison Rising Day. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but January 10th is Madison Rising Day. We'll be up there in Bradford, PA, home of the Zippo lighter company. I mean, I know a lot of military guys have looked on the bottom of a Zippo and seen Bradford, PA. That's where we'll be. You guys want to come to the VFW? We will be there loud and proud on the evening of January 10th.
Is there information on your website about that too?
Sure, yeah. You can find all that information there and check in, yeah. Facebook is probably one of the best ways to keep in touch with what we do on a day-to-day basis as a band. Yesterday we were blessed to get the invitation to add to Operation Enduring Warrior and what they were doing with their initiative for Walter Reed. They got together about 150 stockings, packed them full of all kinds of really cool swag, gift cards, for iTunes, that kind of thing. And then obviously we donated 150 CDs and signed them all up and went around to the wards and passed them out to some of the kids and some of the the veterans down there. It was every time I go back to Walter Reed, I always say, this is a place where these guys come to heal, but I end up being the one who feels like I've been healed by their fight and their want to struggle and continue on and to soldier on, and that says a lot about our nation and our military. It's an amazing group of people down there.
There's an old VA medical center building in Wichita, Kansas, where I used to live. When you walk in the main door, there's a sign that said, "The cost of freedom is visible here." And I've always loved that saying, and Walter Reed, but there isn't any place that it's more visible than Walter Reed, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Tell me about the Christmas video. I'm going to play it at the conclusion of our interview.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Well, it's called A Soldier's Christmas. The idea is basically, I'll tell you the quick story. It's about a man overseas. He's in sort of the dumps. He wishes he was home for Christmas, and we've all kind of, if you've ever served overseas, you understand how that feels. It just feels like the world is spinning around without you, back home, and it really puts a magnification on your sort of emotions, and it can mess you up a little bit. But then he has this sort of moment of clarity. He realizes, it's just him and his gun, and he's serving his country. But he has this moment of clarity where he takes a step back and he realizes, who am I really to wish to be home when, my brothers and sisters, those men and women, whose names are on a wall, and those who gave that ultimate sacrifice for our country, they'll never ever get to go home. And he sort of has that moment of clarity where he wishes the best and for their families, and he decides that that's going to be his chin up moment, and he's going to soldier on for them during the holidays. And that's basically the idea behind the story of the song. What we decided to do with that song, though, is we're going to donate a portion of the proceeds for Operation 300. And for those people who aren't familiar with what Operation 300 is, it's a non-profit organization. It's run out of Florida. And what they do is they sponsor adventure camps for the children of our fallen heroes. And, at this time of Christmas, we were thinking, Christmas, let's do something for the kids. What better, sort of objective directive or, just a good place to put some dollars would be towards Operation 300. It's a direct help for the children of the fallen. And I can't say enough about Karen and Billy Vaughn. They're friends of mine personally. And it's an honor to help them out and to be a part of what they do, and we're blessed to be able to be on the tour with them and the CBA throughout the year. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, I'll bring them on the show sometime and talk to them about the work that they do as well. And when it comes to buying your Christmas CD or your latest CD, is iTunes the best place to go? Your website? How's the best?
Yeah, we've released a couple tracks since the release of American Hero. They're all up on Amazon or iTunes. The Marine Corps Hymn was one we released just about a month ago. We have also released our Christmas song and the song we did for Sarah Palin's television show, which was called Amazing America. All those are on Amazon, iTunes, CD Baby, that kind of thing. If people want to check out the video and they like what they see, they want to download the song, just remember that the Christmas song, Soldier's Christmas, portion of those proceeds are going to go to Operation 300. That's the important message here, is that, yeah, it's a cool video and it's very touching. You know, it's crushing. Actually, Karen Vaughn's son, Karen Vaughn was essentially the inspiration for the song. After hearing her relive her loss on stage night after night, it was one of those things that resonated with me personally, and you know, she became more than a friend to me, and you know, I really wanted to do something special, so we put together this song for her. You know, it turned into a Christmas song later in the game, and then all of a sudden it turned into a video, and this ball got rolling. Then it turned into a fundraiser, a crowdfunder, and everything else. So it's a great cause. It's a great video. We hope it ends up being one of those classics that, you know, 20, 30, 40 years down the road, you know, as long as this country is free and we still have a military out there that's willing to defend it, then it'll still be one of those songs that people go to and watch, just to take a chance and take a second to remember exactly what you said, that the cost of freedom is here and it's visible. It's in this video. You'll see it plain and clear. It's a tough one to watch, but it's a good message to watch.
Well, for any of you that listen to this through iTunes later on down the road, go to gallantfew.blogspot.com, and I'll have the links for the nonprofits. I'll have the links to where you can go pick up the show, as well as to watch the video. So I'm going to run that video now. You're welcome to stand by if you want to. If not, you're sure welcome to sign off. But thanks for your continuing service. Thanks for your service in the Navy, but your continuing service now is extra special. And Merry Christmas to you and the rest of Madison Rising.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys having us on. It's been a blessing, and God bless you and your continued service as well. We thank you very much. So Godspeed, and I am going to sign out. So be well, okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right. Here it is. A Soldier's Christmas, Madison Rising.
Have all fallen back home where I'm from. Thanksgiving's come, Thanksgiving's gone, and my family tells stories around their Christmas tree in a warm living room on Christmas Eve. And the candlelight shimmers as I write down the song, place far away from family and home. As the pen hits the paper, shadows grow long, but I stay here a soldier. Just me and my gun on this Christmas. I'll tell you the truth in my heart from a place that's forgotten. Time, God, and love, I'll stay here, man. My word and faith, there's nothing in this world that I wouldn't trade to go home. I wanna go home. I wanna go home on Christmas Day. Get me out of this place. Take me back to the States, to the place of my birth, greatest country on earth. On this Christmas, this Christmas, but for those who have never seen the leaves fall again, get to spend Christmas with family and friends. I see this all through, all the way to the end. So who am I to wish for my own more than them? They gave their full measure till nothing was left. For all our freedom, they gave the last breath. They gave it with honor, faith, trust, and love. It just doesn't seem fair. They'll never care to go home. No, they'll never go home. They've all soldiered on to march with the Lord. May peace learn grace, find their families this day. 'Cause we remember the price, that sacrifice that each of them gave. On this Christmas, we have nothing left. On this Christmas, they gave their last breath. On this Christmas, stay strong in the fight. Christmas Day, it's Black Night. On this Christmas, thank you with all of our hearts. On this Christmas, never understand what you lost. On this Christmas, continue to fight. Christmas Day, no way, not die in vain on this Christmas. Leaves are all falling back home where I'm from. Thanksgiving's come, Thanksgiving's gone, but I'll stay in the fight. I'll soldier on for the ones who will never come home.
Powerful stuff, and I want to say thank you again, David Bray, for being on the show. That was Madison Rising, Christmas song. Make sure you go pick that guy so that you can help support their efforts to support Operation 300. A couple other quick announcements, and then I'm going to conclude the show for today. If you're wondering what you should do for Christmas and you have a ranger in your family, find out if they have a ranger stone. You don't have to go ask them if they have a ranger stone. You can go to rangermemorial.org, and there is a place on there that's called a stone locator. You can look and you can find out if that ranger has a memorial stone in the ground at the Ranger Memorial or the Ranger Monument at Fort Benning, Georgia. This monument is awesome. It is an amazing place. You walk across that and you look at the names down there. If you're lucky, you walk across it with a guy like retired Command Sergeant Major Jeff Mellinger, who's a friend of mine at Gallant Few Board of Directors. And Jeff will walk through there and he'll say, "Oh, Ranger Parker, or let me tell you a story about Ranger Parker." And then he'll walk a little further. "Oh, Ranger Brown, let me tell you about Ranger Brown." And from whether it's a ranger that earned his Ranger tab or whether it's a ranger that served in a LERP unit or in the regiment or in any of the predecessor or affiliated ranger units, there's a place for them at the Ranger Memorial. It's an awesome, I keep saying Ranger Memorial, it's the Ranger Monument, but it's the National Ranger Memorial Foundation that actually establishes, maintains the monument. Rangermemorial.org. That's where you can find how to get a stone for your ranger, whether or not they have one, but get them a stone. It is an awesome gift. And if you go to the National Ranger Memorial Facebook page, nrmf.org, you're going to look, there's somebody that doesn't listen to my show. They're calling me. At least they don't listen to it live. I was saying NMRF, or just search National Ranger Memorial Foundation. You'll find the Facebook page, and there's a post there that talks about how you can go to the website and order a stone. I also want to, let's see, earlier I was saying congratulations to Corey Smith. Tomorrow he graduates with his Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. He has been working at that for a couple of years. And Corey is the reason that Run Ranger Run started. And Run Ranger Run is the reason that Gallant Few now exists and is able to do the work that we're doing. I could not be more in Corey's debt, and he could not be a greater friend than I consider that he is. So I'm going to play, let me jump over here into a video. We're going to talk about Run Ranger Run. You can find out a little bit about what it is from this video and why we do it.
Run Ranger Run is pretty simple. A ranger, Corey Smith, was about to get out of the Army. And so he decided he was going to run from Fort Benning, Georgia, all the way home to Indianapolis, approximately 565 miles, and he was going to do it in 28 days.
Well, Corey, why are you going to run home? And he said, because I want to illustrate the difficult journey that a soldier has becoming a veteran.
We realize not everybody is the athlete that Corey Smith was when he did the 565 miles, but we realize you can do it as a team and make it an event.
Corey did 565 miles all by himself, and he ran, and he walked, and he biked. So we want 10 people to do 565 miles combined total, running, walking, biking, anything that you can do that you can count distance on. You could have a grandmother walking on a treadmill in the YMCA. You could have a soldier walking patrol in Afghanistan. You could have a kid walking or riding a bike to school. And all of those miles can contribute to that one team total. Run Ranger Run is the most important single event that Gallant Few does. It has a mission of awareness. Gallant Few's mission is to overcome the isolation that veterans may face as they leave active duty.
Gallant Few understands that when veterans transition off active duty, that it is an overnight change. Our goal was to set up mentors to welcome that veteran home, both professionally and socially. And we found that if we take veterans who've already been through that process, successfully transitioned, and mentored them up with these new veterans coming off, that it's a perfect match.
If I can have 100,000 veterans across the country that are just standing by waiting to mentor a veteran as he or she leaves active duty, then when that veteran returns to that hometown, they're going to be welcomed, accepted, integrated. They're going to find jobs. They're going to have doors open. The network will be there. And a lot of the issues that we see veterans go through as they transition are going to go away.
People can get involved with Run Ranger Run by visiting gallantfew.org and going under events and looking for Run Ranger Run, and all the information on how to get signed up, how to raise awareness, to build teams or become part of a team is all right there at your fingertips.
It's a cool event, it's a fun event, and it's an easy one to participate in. And thank you to Shoulder to Shoulder and the Cure Coalition team room for pulling that together.
This is Sergeant First Class retired Mike Schlitz, 14-year Army veteran. Thank you for listening to Gallant Few's The New American Veteran on Vets on Media.
I interrupted Mike. I didn't want to do it again. Yeah. Mr. Schlitz is an amazing guy. If you have not met him, he participates in Run Ranger Run every year and has Team Schlitz. And I think he's filled up 4 or 5 Team Schlitzes of 10 people apiece. So if you want to be part of Team Schlitz, you got to apply and get your place in line there. A couple other things I want to mention real quick. I thought this was hilarious. It's deadly serious, but I thought it was funny and I thought it was well done. And we talked about this last week some on the show about how the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are telling veterans to scrub social media veteran information because that might make you a target of ISIS. And Medal of Honor recipient Dakota Myers, Marine Corps veteran, he has invited ISIS to come to his book club. And there's a picture on his Twitter account of him kicking back on a couch, and he's got a Marine Corps manual, and he has a saber across his lap. And the point is, every man or woman that swore an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, to tell them to hide the fact that they're a veteran because a terrorist might come after you is an insult, and it's a slap in the face. Every veteran that's out there, it's still close to 10% of the population. Show us solidarity will guarantee that a terrorist is not going to do anything. And if a terrorist does do something, you know, when I was on active duty for the entire 10 years that I was on active duty, for whether I was a platoon leader in the 9th Infantry Division or a company commander in the 25th Infantry Division or a staff officer in the 1st Ranger Battalion, every night when I prayed, I would say, God, let there be peace. But if there's war, send me first, because I don't want my family, my kids to have to go through war. I want to take that on for them. Same thing goes here. If somebody out there, if there's an ISIS person out there that feels the need to attack somebody, choose me first. And Dakota Myers is standing right there, and I'm sure there's about 1 million or 2 other veterans out there that say exactly the same thing. We'll continue to protect this country, the land of the free, the home of the brave, whether or not we're actively wearing a uniform or we're now in jeans or sneakers. We'll continue protecting the country. That brings me about to the end here. One other thing that I was going to say, the Havoc Journal. If you do not subscribe to the Havoc Journal, you are making a big mistake. HavocJournal.com. Just Google Havoc Journal, Havok Journal. And it's written by Ranger veteran Marty Scoveland, and he has a host, a whole crew of guest bloggers that help him write. And they have a campaign going on right now. They want to know who is the most interesting veteran or veterans, who are the most interesting veterans alive. And they have an application form where you can go on there, you can write a little piece about who you think is the most interesting veteran you know that's alive. Go send them some stuff, because they're going to go pick from those and they're going to publish them on the Havoc Journal. The Havoc Journal also has tremendous commentary on politics. It has commentary on wartime, things that are going along in the military, or if there's something that's of national interest, they're going to talk about it. There are some very, very good articles written. I've never read a bad article on Havoc Journal. They're always thought-provoking. Some of them you may not agree with, but that's the whole point. Freedom allows you to make that expression in a peaceful way where you're not damaging others. And anyway, that's a free Havoc Journal commercial for you, Marty Scoveland. There are a couple of books out there, too, that Marty and Leonidas Jenkins have both written. Leonidas' latest book is on assimilation, which I have, but I have not cracked open yet. I'll be reading that here through the Christmas time. And then Marty's book, Violence of Action, about 75th Ranger Regiment's War on Terror. Those are both must-reads. Those are must-gifts. After you buy a Ranger Stone for your Ranger, then fill their stocking with On Assimilation and Violence of Action. I sure thank you for joining me today on Gallant Fuse, the New American Veteran. It's my honor to host this show. If you know anybody that you would like to see on this show, please ask them to reach out to me, and I will be happy to give them all the information that they need to participate in this show. May God bless those men and women that have stood in defense of our country, that stand in the defense of our country now, and those that are preparing to stand in defense of our country tomorrow. Especially bless 75th Ranger Regiment, those rough men who stand ready in the night to visit violence on those who would do us harm. And I have an error because I'm not playing. Why am I not playing? Well, at least I made it all the way to the end of the show before I'm getting an error message. I always close the show out by playing taps. I'm going to do the same thing today. Let me restart my program here so that I can pull that up. I think when I interrupted Mike earlier when he was doing the station identification, that must have thrown it off just a little bit. Matter of fact, I may have to kill the dang thing. So hopefully I won't kill the show while I'm doing it. If through this holiday season, you or one of your buddies, male, female, veteran, or active duty, the holidays can always be a very difficult time because it brings back family, it brings back memories. It really can be an emotional time, especially for those who have someone who they lost from active duty. So be sensitive to them, watch for them. If they need to talk to somebody, be there for them. If you have not taken the Spartan Pledge, buddy, reach out and take the Spartan Pledge. Go watch the last 3 shows that I've done here on this format, and you'll see Boone Cutler talking about the Spartan Pledge on video, or you'll hear it on audio. But we can't afford to lose another veteran. 22 a day is an impossible number to stop, but it is totally possible to stop the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one after that. Thank you for listening to Gallant Fuse, the New American Veteran. Special thanks to Michael Broderick, Tim Abel, and Madison Rising for permission to use their audio recordings on this broadcast. That rendition of Taps is a public domain recording created by a soldier of the United States government, and as such is not subject to copyright protection. This has been a production of Gallant Fuse, the New American Veteran, a proud member of the Vets on Media Global Network, all rights reserved. Learn more about Gallant Few at www.gallantfew.org.